Yeah.
And just for the sake of the viewer, you're right that March 2013, when President Kenyatta was leaving office, the public debt as declared by the Central Bank of Kenya, these are not my figures, was 1.79 trillion.
Right.
Of course, 981 billion was for domestic debt. 812 was external debt. Then come August 2017, at the end of this first term of President Kenyatta, the declared public debt was 4.4 trillion shillings.
Exactly.
As of June 2021, the last figure on the site, it was at 7.7 trillion shillings. And there are figures that we hear from the National Treasury and the Budget Committee of Parliament putting it at 8.2 trillion shillings. But yes, you're right. There's the other figure of about 3.2 of guaranteed loans that is not included in this calculation.
Going all the way to 12 trillion.
Unfortunately, we don't have the figures for the earlier terms.
Now I've given you the figures. I've done my homework well.
The earlier terms you have not given us. That's what I'm saying. We don't have them for us to make objective analysis. But Speaker, sorry.
No, I think you have brought it the way I just wanted to say that it will be wrong for us to tell Kenyans, yes, we have debts. And I want to be very honest. Yes, anyone who has been in the Jubilee government since 2013, we are responsible. This thing of running away from our problems that we have brought in our country, and then we come call Right Honorable puppet and all that, is very wrong. We are responsible. For the first 5 years is when we took the high debt. We must accept that. We have refused to also look at what were some of the challenges that have brought us to where we are. We have refused to accept, yes, we went through a nullification. It also took us to another trench, because we spent money on an election that was not money for election. So we've decided to make it a political tool again, yet this is our country now we are talking about. It's debt, it is there. It is corruption, we have it. We have been with it in Jubilee. We can't run away. Deputy President cannot run away. My president is not running away. He takes responsibility for that. And so this thing of running away, thinking you change the name, yani ni wale wale. You change the name, but we are still the same animals who did the same thing. So what solution?
Do you think it's possible to really get a solution with the same politicians leading our country?
No, we can't. And that is why I will support Raila Odinga for anything. Why? He comes in, he's the Mandela, he gives us a new Kenya. This Kenya he gives us a new Kenya.
Are you talking about
whether you say or her? You are, first of all, your leader, first of all, your own leader, can go and even take a land of a poor farmer, Muteshi, who is now in the grave. And you come and tell me here he will be the leader to change me? If he cannot have that audacity to just look, this is a poor farmer. And he took and he died. And he left them with it. And he will come around again. No, Sam. Whether resolved, it was done. Ethically, you have done. You have that lust of doing those things. And it's not just that one. Many, many others. And then you come and tell me now, he is the right person. Honestly, God have mercy on Kenya. No. Let us agree we have done mistakes. Let us not run away from that. But at the same time, are we willing to change? Yeah, are we willing to change? Fine, you want to run Kenya. But have you stood and said, you want to change and move Kenya to the next level? No. You come in, and in your NDC, you tell us how you'll start with EACC, because you know it has been Sumbua. So you want to remove it. And you say you want to change it in one day. You can't. The second, first of all, I listened to my speaker, and I'm asking, so the policy of UDA is that they will go to counties and the national government will start interfering again with counties. Because when you tell me you are bringing a document, which I think Raila also did. Anyway, it's just like now repeating. We are just repeating. He did. By the time he was going from every county, there were recommendations from all those leaders. This is what we want to see in our county. This is what we want for our county. Moving on. But then the most interesting part, no, you are the ones who have borrowed from us. You didn't even have the idea to do it. So now you feel it is the right thing to do. Public participation. Raila is the one who has done it first. He went round the whole country, public participation, asking Kenyans, I would wish to be your president. But before that, tell me the challenges of these counties, which they did. So they have borrowed. They had no idea. Wait, Sammy, wait. I thought they were in the government for 5 years. So he came to Nyeri. He came to Nyeri.
Are those views in any way affecting the agenda of the coalition?
No, those are the views you pick and understand.
For coronation, not for agenda.
Well, whether coronation, that is also an agenda.
I want us to make...
what I want to say is whether they gave a document, Speaker, if your people in Nyeri gave their document, and I'm not saying in a bad way, I'm saying because either way, there will be a president and he has to work for all Kenyans.
I hear you.
And those Kenyans would wish to see their views in part of any of the manifestos. That is what a country is about. And that unity is very important. And regardless of all this, we are very emotional. Well, emotional, I don't know why. I can only be emotional about Kenya. And when I say that, I say no.
I hear you, Honorable Elachi.
I will want a leader, first of all, who has mercy. Second, who has respect. Third, who has forgiveness. That is not in my deputy president.
Wow. And so much is going on in this country. Formations
the matter of the debt.
Just hold on. Formations are coming. Honorable Kamket, I'll give you a chance, yeah?
The matter of the debt.
No,
I don't want that
give you an opportunity. Just note it down somewhere.
Okay.
I can pass you a paper. So much is happening. Formations are coming together. Political parties are coming together, including yesterday. We saw the deputy president at the NDC of the Safina party that has endorsed Jimmy Wanjigi for the presidency. Listen first to what they said.
The state has been taken over by economic terrorists. Washindwe. State capture has not only suffocated Kenyans, it has made it impossible for our small businesses to thrive and grow. The old order must die. It must be wiped out. We must end transactional politics. Itweka.
They believe and they have facilitated the corruption of the political system to merge the opposition and the government, creating an unaccountable system that promotes conflict of interest, that promotes state capture, that promotes corruption, and that benefits only the corrupt.
Okay, so that's the deputy president speaking there, and you'll shortly be listening to what Azimio la Umoja has been up to. And there are many issues here. First, the confusion about opposition and who is in government. Then there's the question of political parties coming together to forge an agenda. What, in your view, Honorable Boss, because you come from the UDA party, Kenya Kwanza, the larger picture, how do you then reconcile all these views? Because yes, there are certain things that are defining through and through, but the other sticky issues, how do you intend to deal with them with time running out to really plan your formations for the election?
Okay, shortly before I answer that question, I think I have a right of reply on some of the things that have been said here.
Okay, so?
And I'm going to ask you, Sam, that next time you invite me to the show, invite me with people who will faithfully answer the questions that they are asked. You asked a very specific question to Kamket, how his party leader and his party will deal with corruption. He did not give an answer. He ranted on attacking my party leader. I have endeavored every time you've invited me to this show to faithfully answer questions and educate Kenyans on true facts. I never make up stories every time I come to this show. On the issue of corruption, how do you deal with corruption? To deal with corruption, one, you need political goodwill, which has been lacking. Number two, you need to amend the laws. For example, the Public Procurement and Disposal Act lends itself to corruption. So therefore, I was part of the people in Parliament who have attempted to make amendments to the Public Procurement Act. It is still ongoing, and to also change the regulations. Also, the other thing that we must change is that decisions that are made in regard to procurement and decisions that will incur expenditure on public resources must be made in such a way that the individual will take personal responsibility. The way we changed IEBC officials from being able to be corrupted or to steal votes was because the law changed to say when there is an election petition, if there is any election offense that has been committed, it is not IEBC that is responsible. Yes, you sue IEBC, but the second respondent in the case or the other defendant in the case is that the IEBC official in the individual responsibility. So yes, I have a plan and I have laws that I already set on what we must pass relating to corruption when we are in government. But the reason why I need to have a government that will give us goodwill, like I said, you need political goodwill. We haven't had political goodwill. That is why we have not been able to fight corruption. You cannot fight corruption when the head of state himself is, his family is a shareholder in NCBA Bank, NCIC Bank. When they merged, they got a waiver for 330 million shillings in tax. And they got a waiver, they own 24%. So you cannot fight corruption when you have the top leaders have a stake in the actual corruption itself. Let me now answer about the issues of, on the issue of opposition and what is happening at the moment. I think this is a transition period. And this is a transition period, exactly this time of the calendar, of the electoral cycle. There is always movements back and forth, and there is agreements that are reached by different political parties. If you remember, when Mwai Kibaki was president, he was elected under a NAC ticket. He then ran in his second term under PNU. So it was a transition period. Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto in 2013 ran on a TNA ticket. That was the presidential ticket, TNA, not URP. But in 2017, they had a similar time in our electoral cycle where they transited to Jubilee. So this is what happens at this time. There is going to be coalitions, there is going to be mergers, there is going to be people supporting others and not supporting others. So that is normal. Why do people make it abnormal? And that is why, even as media houses, I find it shocking that you make it news that Amos Kimunya is running on a Jubilee ticket. He is a Jubilee member of parliament. It is not news when you tell me Ngujiri Wambugu is running on a Jubilee ticket. He is a Jubilee member. Sabina Chege is remaining in Jubilee. He's in Jubilee. So is Kioni. And so is Ruth Mwaniki. Even Joyce Emanikor from Turkana, when you say it's news, it's not news. He is a Jubilee member. She's choosing to remain in her party.
Are you predicting that these formations you have now will actually metamorphosize something else?
I don't think until the 2nd of May, which is the last day for people to give their names to IEBC, you're going to be seeing a lot of changes. So this is the period
so
where
the
this
specific
happens.
question I asked you and the information I'm looking for is because you've highlighted some of the things that you think need to be changed in dealing with corruption. But when it comes to that political movement, the Kenya Kwanza, for instance, and you have these views, they may be different from someone else, how are you going to bring them into an agreeable position before the election, and what will that be?
That would be tantamount to me giving you our political strategy.
No, I'm
I will not do on national television.
Strategy. I'm just asking.
No, it's being dealt with, and we have a plan. I'm not going to say it on national television.
Let me try with the Honorable Kamket here, who is from KANU.
And please tell him to answer questions and not to tell us stories here, because I don't bring me to debate somebody who is not on the same pace as me.
Please, I mean, I will ask the questions. It's the panelists to decide how they want to answer. I'll try as much as possible to find the answers. I want us to listen to what Azimio members of parliament said while they were in Nairobi that would sort of give us an idea of what the thinking might be. Do we have that? All right, we'll get it shortly. But they were talking about they'll encourage zoning of regions so that when they get into a place like Nairobi, they want each seat they go for, an Azimio candidate wins, so that you don't have Jubilee fighting ODM or fighting KANU or whatever. So in your view, now that you're within, I don't know what name you call it, Azimio One Kenya Alliance or Azimio La Umoja, what is your thinking about bringing together all these factions and winning the election in how you filled your tickets?
First of all, I do not know why you cannot get a video of the Azimio
Okay.
You're only able to get a
Listen
video.
to it. Honorable Kamken,
You're only
listen to it.
able to get
So it's not news.
No, no.
It's not news.
Kama ni governor ni mmoja, kama ni women rep ni mmoja, kama ni senator ni mmoja, kama ni MCA ni mmoja kwa Azimio. Ni kweli
katika chama cha Azimio kutakuwa na kiongozi mmoja peke yake. Kama ni wa Jubilee ama ni ODM, watashikanishwa ili mmoja aweze kwenda mbele.
hapa Dago tunataka 6 piece ya Azimio.
Okay, so that's it.
Very much.
So give me an answer.
I do not know what is it that they are going to do, because it's a very difficult decision. Because all politics is local. And none of those politicians speaking there will, if Mahina Kamanda is told tomorrow that the Azimio ticket in Nairobi is going to go to Kanu, he will jump to another party the next minute. So it's a very difficult thing they are talking about, because everybody wants to get a ticket. I wanted to say that my honorable colleague here is really she has a very condescending thing about other leaders, that I'm not answering questions. Is she the one asking questions? It's you. So if you don't want to debate me, you know, she's a family friend. I can't be hard on her. That's
Answer the question.
So I'll ask her respectfully. If she hears I'm coming to TV, she should not come. And why
would you say that?
because we are family.
I'll call
friends.
his wife because she's my friend.
Oh. Let's not go there.
So I cannot be hard on her.
Wow.
But there's something about the debt. I wanted to say something about the debt earlier.
Quickly.
You know, I took over from her. She was chairperson, Committee on Delegated Legislation. I am now the chairperson, Committee on Delegated Legislation. And we played a role. Let me tell you, when the debt ceiling was increased up to 9 trillion, she was the chairperson of Committee on Delegated Legislation. I protested. That's a fact. It is there in Hansard. I protested, but she was the chairman, and she approved, and she pushed for that agenda.
It's true.
Yeah, okay. So UDA cannot run away from the matter of debt. Okay? UDA cannot run away from the matter of debt. Two, when Jubilee administration came to power, the government was I think there was divided. There was a URP side and TNA side. And the deputy president was given the mandate of the treasury. And
also, he said he was never given.
No. Those are his stories. I'm telling you what happened. Henry Rotich, who comes from the same village with Madam Boss.
No, I'm not Singishu is
so it's just nearby. So,
okay,
so they are the ones who are running the treasury. So they cannot run away. William Ruto and his brigade cannot run away from the matter of debt. They all contributed. So we must just face it.
Okay.
As it is, and look at the positive aspect of this debt also, because of you see no country can develop without debt, because you look at the infrastructure we have in this country now, amazing infrastructure. The railway is an amazing thing. My friend from Nyeri, nowadays there is a train to that place. There's a dual carriage going all the way to Nyeri.
They are the ones using more of the money.
Okay, so there are some positive aspects of it. Now, on the matter of government, that we have a confused system that we do not know, a mongrel of government, kind of. Who told Ruto to quit government? He's the one who quit government voluntarily. You know, some things don't make sense. You get elected as a deputy president, and then you quit government the next month. That's how some of us became. How did Kanu have leader of majority with 3 senators? Because UDA, Ruto and his team left government. So and my friend, power abhors vacuum. That's how we came in.
If I remember correctly, you were removed.
No, they were removed, yes, because they had quit government. They had their agenda, what was coming out of their lips, everything. They were scheming against the state. So they had to be removed, yes. Okay? So it is up to them. It is their problem. Now, why are they crying for? Come on. When you make your bed, you must lie on it.
And you said that with a smile.
I think.
I want to take the final remarks from the two of you. Yeah. So that conversation in Nairobi, Azimio la Umoja, you didn't tell me, Azimio One Kenya Alliance or Azimio la Umoja? Those are, in my view, those are semantics. Okay, semantics.
Azimio la Umoja is one. One Kenya, one is one. Umoja, and it's just an useless semantics. We're in Azimio.
You say. But, Honorable Elachi, so now look, your colleagues are saying that in Nairobi they'll have to ensure one candidate per seat. Yes. How will you do that?
Well, it has, you see, we've always competed with it. By the way, Nairobi is a very interesting, dynamic county. It is a county where between Jubilee and ODM, we have fought. And we know there are areas where whether you give to an ODM member, it is a Jubilee area, you have no choice, you will lose, and that Jubilee member will win. So what are we saying? We are saying we are not going to do those, we are not going to push people to go to an election knowing very well, you are just going to lose, this one is going to win. Because that's how, during the boundaries, it was drawn. That's very unfortunate, but that's how it is. It is, by the way, very emotive. Within our boundaries, we have our constituency where you know whether you are which tribe or which tribe, you won't get. You won't. So that is how it is. So in Nairobi, you will zone. In the cross of the country, we can do other things, but Nairobi, you'll have to zone. Because there are those constituencies that were purely Jubilee, and we've agreed. In Azimio, we are very clear in it. We don't want, again, that pull and push. For the first time in the elections of Kenya, for many years, we will have a Nairobi where we will go through an election, people will go home, and you will not see burning in Kawangware. You will not, because for the first time, we are together. That is how peace is critical for Nairobi. And if we start on a right foot in Nairobi, in terms of having that peace, trust me, the whole country, there will be peace in it.
All right. Speaker Kagusha, because you come from a region that has really been caught the attention of this election and of the country, but also there are several smaller parties that now have joined hands with UDA. If the images that you saw of the NDC is anything to go by, how will you deal with this so that you don't lose seats that you should essentially win?
Yeah, well, maybe first let me explain.
No, just go straight to that because you're out of time.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, but why Kimunya is on the news today is because he's a majority party leader, but with a minority party now. He's a majority in minority in parliament as we talk. That's why it's news. And I know that a lot of people are waiting that Jubilee would take root in Mount Kenya region. That was not to be. And I can tell Kenyans, this is the last week when anyone is able to shift from one political party to another. And so by Friday this week, no more shifting. And so the die is cast now. And so those people who are waiting for Jubilee to get any inroads in Mount Kenya region, it has not worked, it has failed, it's unfortunate, and one has only 3 days now to make a decision on where to go. And I want to tell them, those who have not been able to secure tickets with the UDA party, they should feel free now to secure with the other parties that are there. I mean, rather, those who have not been able to pay.
Has anyone secured a ticket?
Not they have direct ones. Don't you see how they are talking? Direct tickets. All MPs have direct tickets in order.
Let me finish. Those who have not been able to pay for the aspirants' fees to contest. Because we have now closed as UDA. It's closed now. You can't now go to pay. So those who are not able to pay, and this is unlike Jubilee because they're still recruiting. Until last night, one person from our party was telling me that a member of parliament was in their house up to 11 p.m. Persuading them to pay for Jubilee ticket. Now in UDA, we are not now receiving money. So those people who may not have been able to pay to run for primaries, they should now feel free to go to those smaller parties that we have in Mount Kenya region and in those other areas. We are okay. People, for example, in my constituency.
So there'll be no zoning. The political
no zoning. No zoning. Any person is free to go to any party which is friendly, so long as we are all campaigning for our presidential candidate, who is His Excellency Dr. Samoei Ruto, the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, as from 9th of August 2022.
You'll pay for that. Are you facing any contest for the UDA ticket in Mukurweini?
Yes, I am. I'm facing contest, and we are likely to go for party primaries if we do not probably work out consensus.
Oh, yeah. So there's consensus?
No,
I mean, why not?
Constitution.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I'm asking that because I thought when
you can go through consensus if you so agree.
I
mean that's allowed.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I got your answer, and I'm asking that because you said that those who have not secured tickets. So
I was wondering.
Not tickets, but payments.
Gumba Steve is saying parties and coalitions should not insist on the 6-piece voting, but rather encourage the electorate to choose those legislators who will be able to work. It's the presidency that should be capitalized on. Let them leave us to decide down here. Huza HSC, never would a country be free when imperialism, tyranny, and dictatorship is elected, until when corruption is totally nonsensical to the ruling party and ruling leaders. EACC is a toothless bulldog. Judiciary confiscates only ordinary citizens. What do you mean with confiscate?
Yes.
All right, Chalo Wodrozi, corruption should be dealt with seriously without favor because it's killing our economy, thereby causing hunger in our country. County bosses and their associates are stealing a lot of money, which should not be accepted at this time. DY Naina, you say the society that lives on subsidies and freebies is always responsible for corrupt governance. If the government is not addressing poverty, every other agenda becomes obsolete. And Mr. Happiness, you say, most of Kenyan leaders only concentrate on how they will benefit themselves using public resources. Njiruri Blamio, corruption is not a culture, but a criminal act. We have more drunkards in Kenya than the corrupt, but we don't say alcoholism is a culture. Corruption is prevalent because the necessary punitive action is not taken. That's Njiruri. Peter Odiwar, our dear politicians, don't be greedy, merciless and cruel as wolves, tearing into the poor and feasting on them, shredding the needy to pieces only to discard them. That is Peter Odiwar this morning. Honorable William Kamket, Honorable Gladys Bose, Honorable Beatrice Elachi, and Speaker John Kagusha, thank you all for making time for us to have this conversation. I hope Honorable Kamket redeemed himself in the final response.
He answered the correct question and he was right.
Okay. And we'll do this again some other time. My name is Sam Gituku. See you soon.